Thank you. This session is now being recorded. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Journey to Pathways. My name is Jessica Cotman, and I will be your Pathways chairperson for this year. Welcome everyone that has joined. It looks like a lot of people are coming in as I speak. That's such a great thing to see different people from different areas, different clubs within our District 66. Therefore, we're going to go ahead and get started in the meeting. Again, my name is Jessica Cotman. I'm your Pathways chairperson. And what we're going to be talking about today is let's get into the path. We're going to be discussing pathways. We're going to be discussing the level 1 in a pathway. Therefore, Frederica Ricks will get deeper into the path of level 1. And I am going to turn it over to Frederica. Frederica, let's get deeper.
Thank you, Jessica. Let me ask you one question. What does LMS mean? And you come unmute yourselves.
Learning management system.
You go ahead, Denise Short. Yes, it is. Now, the coolest thing about Toastmasters is we are in the midst of a transformation from our learning management system. And I love it. Yeah, we love a DTM, PQD. Now we have the LMS. Wonderful way to break down pathways. Pathways, as you know, is our educational tool. It's being tweaked, but there's no reason for you not to grasp it and have a good time with it like we're going to have right now. If you were not a Toastmasters and you came into, say, a speechcraft meeting, the first thing they would do is start off with what? Who can tell me? I like to put it in my Coke. I don't mean
Icebreaker.
Thank you. Icebreaker. And the icebreaker project, we used to call it a speech, but it is a project, can be the most challenging project to start off with. Why? Because you're talking about you. You're talking about yourself. You're talking about your likes, your dislikes. I always say that I'm number 5 of 6. So what does that mean? That's a little bit of what an icebreaker is. It's 4 to 6 minutes, and that is the one thing that you must do when you're starting off at a level 1. I do think that almost every path has an icebreaker starting off at level 1. Now, that is not going to change when they tweak it before the end of the year. Do you have a challenge with identifying what part of you do you want to share? That's a rhetorical question. Do you have a challenge? How personal do you want to get? Do you want to talk about my first husband? No, you don't. You might, but think about you and what you want your audience to learn about you as a member of the club, the Toastmaster Club. That's what the Icebreaker Project is about. Then you move into writing, pardon me, writing a speech with a purpose. Okay? What do you think I mean by that? Please unmute yourself, even if you're chewing. I want to hear something. And writing.
What you're passionate about?
What you're passionate about. Think about purpose. I used to teach, and every time I said when my students were writing, what do you want the reader to learn? Is it something personal? Is it an event you want to share? What is the purpose behind it? If I were to ask you right now, why do you eat apples? Who can tell me?
Eat
Keeps the
apple,
doctor
they
away.
keep doctor away.
Yes. And lo and behold, there's some truth to that, because we know that number one, apples are a form of fiber, that skin, that outside. So if I used to tell my children, if you don't boop, you die. So all that type of fiber helps the body do what the body is supposed to do. It has a purpose. The same thing should happen when you have a speech. That's a major part of level one. And as you work through it, you learn tidbits on how to tighten up and fine tune your speech to make sure it has purpose. Even if you're talking about my tomato plant that seems to have died. If I want to share with you all how it died, why it died, that's the purpose of what I'm sharing to you, as in my thumbs are brown and they are not green. That gives credibility. It also helps you define what you're saying. It's the recipe. So that is a major part of level one, okay? Your icebreaker project, and then writing a speech with a purpose. Well written and organized. That's level one. Everything you learn in level one is beneficial for all the other levels in whatever path you're taking. Remember that. Those skill sets help you to I don't want to say quick, with confidence, move through the paths, the different levels, okay? The next, I didn't mean to say, we have no, okay, not here today. The next.
No, our counter.
No, okay.
But we may need to listen up.
Well, okay, we can listen up. That's okay. Knowing what your body is doing, vocal variety, body language. You're going from your icebreaker, speech with a purpose. What are you doing? Your body and your voice, are they working together? Or are they move for move's sake? Or are you just riding a wave that is about to crash? That's the importance of the next project in level one, vocal variety and body language. I'd like to ask you one question. How many of you all record your speeches? Okay. How many of
Anyone?
you, I don't see any hands.
Come on, David, do you record your speeches?
Do
No?
not.
Why not? Tell me why not.
You mean when I'm practicing or in?
Yes, when you're practicing.
Yeah,
when you're
practicing.
Or maybe
Okay.
you never thought about it.
I never thought of it.
Well, it may be something you might want to think about.
I don't like
Because
hearing my voice. Sounds
Oh,
different.
I feel the same way. I feel the same way. I had to force myself to listen to me, because I think I sound a little differently than what I'm projecting. It allowed for me to say, You need to change the way you are saying this phrase versus that phrase. Oh my goodness, put more emphasis on this part than that part. So you can help the audience be with you during the course of your presentation. It's important to know what you sound like. How many of you do your practice your speech in front of a mirror? All right, David. Anybody else?
Pamela,
Okay.
Melissa, anyone?
I have, but I don't like to.
You don't like to. Why not, Pam? Hello?
It's, I don't know, it's irritating because especially when I'm first starting and I have a piece of paper and I'm like going up and forth, back and forth with it, or I don't know, it's just irritating to see my facial expressions sometimes. Like David said with his voice, mine is my facial expressions. I know I make weird facial expressions. And I know I should probably practice in front of the mirror because that would help, like you said, with identifying it, but that's my issue.
Well, who you are is who you are. What part of your face that will express who you are? We all had to get in tune with the little box since 2020.
Mm-hmm.
And understanding where the camera is. Now we're in a hybrid world. We have to go back to being in person, standing up, movement for movement purposes. How many of you all remember the little Purina cat chow commercial where the cat was dancing back and forth because it was getting it? Well, never mind. See, that's gray hair. Okay.
Meow, meow, meow.
Yes, and the reason why I say that, because the cat is just moving, okay? But the cat's movement has a purpose, all right? So when you're doing a speech, guess what? Your movement should also have a purpose. If we had one young person was always constantly doing that. And I'm like, what are you doing? They didn't realize they were doing that. And up and down and down and up, or rocking during the course of their presentation. So looking in the mirror at what you're doing is so important, and it can be so powerful. So learning how to use your voice and learning how to use your body, they go hand in hand. If you had to purchase another camera over the past 4 years, raise your hand. I did. No offense to my 8-year-old laptop, but yes, 4 years ago, I had to buy another camera because it was not working with what I was trying to do just from my laptop. Lighting is different. Positioning is different. That all affects your delivery, okay? That all affects your delivery. So in that level 1, there's a whole section that teaches you how to learn how to use the gifts that you have. We all have a voice. And have you ever stared at a young person so hard to a point they stopped what they're doing? I have. I can just give them a look, not say a word, just from my face alone. Some people might call that fear. I call it power. So think on those lines of what your body's doing, what your face is doing, how they can work together. That's been one of the projects in level 1. Next, you have evaluation and feedback. You love that one, don't you? Raise your hand. I know, I see Denise's head going, Why are we a little, I hate to say, squeamish with the evaluation and constructive feedback? Let me throw that word in there.
There is a difference.
Yes, there is. Constructive feedback. That's where in level 1, you learn and listen to an evaluation. They give you the feedback. Now, I'm going to be very honest right now. It's a fine line between knowing how to evaluate someone, giving the information that they can use to make an adjustment in their speech, or somebody telling you you did a good job. I can't do a whole lot with that. But if you say to me, you started off strong, your voice was very steady, but towards the middle, you fell down so low, I could barely hear you. That is constructive feedback. Not as in, oh, you did great. Oh my gosh, when you said what you said, and then when your hand went to that side versus this side, and you grabbed your up in the air, what are you learning from that evaluation? So in level 1, you learn how to hear what that evaluator is saying and use it to adjust. I don't necessarily want to say improve, okay? But adjust and challenge and be challenged from that feedback, okay? So, it's very important that when you give that speech, that the evaluator gives you that evaluation in writing. So then you have something tangible in your hand to put to use the next time you give a speech. Most people do the same speech twice, taking that information and then adding it to what they did first time, making that adjustment, changing that phrase, smoothing out a transition. That's why you do the same speech twice. Some people don't, okay? But they'll take that advice from that evaluation and put it in a new speech. I personally suggest that you use the same speech, taking note of the feedback that you were given from that evaluation. Okay? Evaluations are secret recipes. That's what they are. And it's important for you to be able to utilize exactly what you're being given. Okay? That's the evaluation and feedback. So you can see that's evaluation and feedback, that's 2 speeches. Vocal variety, body language, 3. Speech with a purpose. And then you have your icebreaker project. So level 1, you are doing 5 speeches. Okay? With the level 1. That's why I just sit back, break it down, because that's important. Also, as a part of level 1, you have to be an evaluator. Did you know that? Somebody said, You have to evaluate someone else. And at first, when I worked with a speech craft this past summer, and the participants were like, oh, no, I'm not going to be an evaluator. Oh, no. I'm like, oh, yes, you are. Just relax. If you've ever told somebody, what do you have on? Or you say, I like what you have on. It just fits you just fine. Okay. Well, that's an evaluation. Okay. And what Toastmasters has on the TR website is how to evaluate somebody. Some people use a glove. Some people, I don't know, do something with a pig. I don't get the pig. But I don't personally say, well, this is what you could improve on. I'm like, what? Oh, no, you didn't. Talking about me improving. But if they want to challenge me, okay, that's different. Because you have to be careful on how you to say, I don't know what you were talking about. Like right now, that's the Amazon man, and my dog's at the doorbell. Now, you read my lips, you know what I said. Okay. Think on those lines when you shy away from an evaluation. That Toastmaster needs you to tell them if you understood everything that they were going through. I have a tendency to put too many stories in one speech until one evaluator said, Freddie, you had 5 stories in one speech. Just focus on one story. I was like, well, it was this, it was this, it was that. To the point, folks got lost. And I thought about it. Yeah, sometimes it's fine dining and not golden corral. Somebody got it. What do I mean by that?
Smorgasbord, too many
Oh, yeah.
choices.
Too many choices. Let's do fine dining. Now, you might be hungry afterwards, but you sure had a good meal. Okay? So that evaluator allows for you to grow. That's key component in level 1. As I mentioned earlier, level 1 is going to be tweaked. If you've already started a level that they're changing the levels and they're getting rid of I hate to say getting rid of, they're retiring several of the paths, okay? Dynamic leadership, engaging humor, motivational strategies, presentation mastery, persuasive influence, visionary communication will remain. Okay? If you are in a path right now, I'm in strategic relationships, it's going to go away. But since I've already paid for the path and I'm working in it, it will remain a part of my base camp. All right. Jessica. It's just, oh, hey.
Yes, ma'am.
Anything else you want me to go through? Oh, I am so sorry. See, I get so excited. The coolest thing about the new pathways, so to speak, when you say complete, it's going straight to TI. Now it also may go to your VPE, but it's going straight to TI. That way, it's a better accountability system, okay? Instead of saying, I know I sent you something that I finished that. Oh, I haven't seen it yet. When you go through and do that post assessment, and you finish up with that evaluation, you get that credit immediately with that certificate coming forward. That's one thing I thought was absolutely exciting. It's sort of like self-pay. Ooh, I like self-pay. Ooh. So this way, you are self-paying yourself, okay? Because you will automatically, it'll go straight, will be submitted recognition to Club Central. That's
That's
exciting. That is
that's
exciting.
great. That's great news, Freddie. So as we think about pathways, as we think about the level that we're currently on, maybe we need to ask ourselves a question. Where do I go from here? So my question to you all, where are you on your current path? Some people tell me what path you're on and what level. Come off of mute. You don't want me to call you out, Melissa.
Yeah, I just got started pretty much. So I guess I'm on level 1 for the icebreaker.
That's good. Okay.
What's your path? What's your path?
I'm not really aware what a path exactly is, so I kind of just got started with Toastmasters.
Okay, see,
Mhm.
like that
That's why you're here.
LMS.
That's
All
why
right.
you're here.
And
Okay.
Andrea Chase raised her hand.
All right. Andrea.
Thank you. Thank you, fellow Toastmasters. Thank you for this conversation. Absolutely. I recently completed my pathway, dynamic leadership, and I am now on motivational strategy, level 1.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Okay. You just recently started. You're on level 1. Have you scheduled your icebreaker?
Yes, I
Uh,
have. Oh, is that question to
oh,
me or to?
Yes, to you. I'll get
okay.
back. I'm gonna get back to Melissa.
Yes, I have scheduled my icebreaker for my new path, which is motivational strategies.
Okay, good. So you know how to get in the path, you know how to look at everything in the path, and you already have a great idea what you're going to talk about, and
Yes, I do.
that's you.
That's exactly right.
Excellent.
The
Excellent.
easiest speech, and I call them conversations that you could ever have. I don't have to do any research on myself because I'm myself, and therefore I can share that story about myself.
That's great. Thank you. And I'm excited for your icebreaker and your first speech. And this the icebreaker is a way for us as members to get to know each other. I had, when I was an AD, I said, area director, I said, no one can tell your story like you can tell your story. So tell your story in a speech. Does
That,
anybody else want to let us know where you are in pathways and your speech and your level? You have something else to say, Andrea?
yeah, I do. Thank you for also sharing in terms of repeating your speech. Because again, I did share with you, I did do my icebreaker in dynamic leadership. And here's an opportunity to now revisit the speeches that I gave before in a different way, a different context, which is an extraordinary opportunity to apply all those tools that I received from Toastmasters the first go
Ex-
around.
Exactly.
I do have one question in terms of when you said that recognition for completing a level will go directly to TI. Does that also that recognition immediately then go to the club report, or is there still a gap between recognizing people that have completed their level of it getting there recognized and coming back to the report in terms of measurement?
Well, I'll be honest, I'm not real sure. Now, when technology works, we know it works. What I saw was the fact that it was going to be an immediately go into Club Central. So you will get that credit. And it has to be connected someplace to the club. Okay. But that's one feature that I just got so excited about, was the
Me too.
fact that you're going to have an immediate acknowledgement that you have completed the path. Now, there's going to be something new coming on it. It's called explorations. Okay. That's also going to be a part of Pathways and the new program, LMS program coming out, where there are many short learning items that they feel as if that you're going to need, but those items will be smoothed out and completed as a part of the path you're working on in Pathways. But the coolest thing is Club Central is going to know you completed the path, and it'll generate a certificate. Okay, so that I'm excited. Anyone else?
Teresa, would you like
Yes,
to share what path and what level that you are in that path?
Yes, I am in presentation mastery, and
Okay.
I am probably midway. I've
Of
completed,
level.
yes, I've completed the icebreaker, and I've completed, I think, 3 or 4 speeches.
So it sounds like you're almost done. So have you scheduled your next speech? I'm going to be asking everybody, when
I,
have you scheduled your next speech? So
I,
I'm coming at you.
I have not, and my VPE is on the screen, and I'm sure she's waiting to hear herself, because we are at that point where we are trying to steadily keep our speeches scheduled, so we won't have a meeting where there is no one speaking.
Exactly.
Yes.
Thank you so much for sharing that.
You're welcome.
And what I used to do is I would schedule a speech
Mhm.
knowing, almost like if you had a deadline in a project and you had to have it done by this particular deadline, you
Mhm.
have something to work up to.
Okay,
Not having the speech scheduled, you don't have anything to work up to.
that's correct.
There, so that's my perspective on
Mhm.
scheduling a speech. We know things come up, but at least you scheduled it. If something happens, you can let your VPE know in enough time, if time permits, and then you can decide, hey, I can't do it this meeting. I'm going to schedule it for the next meeting. I don't want to put it out too far in advance because
Right.
that may mean I may be doing a little procrastination,
Yes.
and we don't want to have that. Okay. Well, anybody else like to tell me what speech, what level, where are you at, where you go? Okay, Denise, come on down.
I am actually in innovative planning. I
Okay,
am now at level 5. Level 5.
okay,
I'm somewhat challenged with that because I'm retired, and if in this current system, it talks about projects, and I have to admit, I'm retired. I'm not trying to do any projects, so I'm challenging myself. I see you, Frederick.
so what can we do to motivate you, Denise, to do this project? How can we help you with that project? You can
Well,
you can talk to us offline if you prefer.
I'm No, I'm fine. What I'm actually going to do is an elective. I think there's just one elective that needs to be done in that level. So I'm going to look at doing an elective first while
Okay,
I try to become creative with some type of project. Now, there was a project that I did while I was in school, which of course was a little while ago, not that far in the past. Maybe I could recreate that, you know, for this level 5 innovative planning. Um, but that's still up in the air. I'm also in strategic relationships. I did the icebreaker in level 1, so I do need to go through the next few speeches. I do have a question back to Frederica, though. When we talked about the evaluation and feedback feature, you recommended that you use the same speech. Do you recommend having the same evaluator or a different evaluator?
A different evaluator. I'm sorry. Every time I press the microphone, he wouldn't. Yeah, a different evaluator, because evaluations are it's individual.
Right.
What someone heard, someone else didn't think of it like that. Okay. I would suggest that you have a different evaluator because you're having 2 evaluations on that one
Okay.
speech. That's what I would suggest.
Okay. And the
Because
reason why I asked that is since the first evaluator has given the feedback that we're using
Mhm.
for repeating the speech, or if we're doing a new speech, that person, a new person, may not have been there when the speech was initially done. So they don't really know what the feedback was. So I see what you're saying. I also see what you're saying.
Well,
Uh,
the
But
coolest
I was
thing
just curious
is,
about that.
I got
mhm.
you. Whatever what you want as the speech giver and you think you would benefit from. The key is, if you get a different evaluator, is you're getting a fresh start, so to speak, especially if
Mhm.
they were not there the first time. They don't really know what you were told or what you were asked to challenge yourself with. They don't know. So now that you've incorporated everything, see what a new evaluator would say
Mhm.
about your journey and how you have accomplished getting your audience involved in what you were saying. So that's the only reason why I say it. But in the long run, it goes back to what you all prefer. And being a retiree, okay, there are projects within your club that you can do. Within if your church family, your community, there are all kinds of ways you can pull out a project. You don't have to build a statue or open up a new museum, but there are projects that need to be done. If it's just bringing back old members, reaching out, planning a Sunday brunch, anything like that, that's a project. You
Yeah,
could use that toward adding to your membership.
yeah, a birthday
Yeah.
party,
Yes.
an anniversary party.
Didn't
All of
think of it.
those are
Yeah.
projects.
Yes.
I did a
I'm no longer
project.
in Virginia, so I'm virtual all the way now with my club. Unless I
Okay.
Well,
decide
I
to
can
make a
tell you
trip
how to
to.
party online.
Yes. We
Hey,
yes.
prizes and all.
All
That
right
kind
now.
of thing. Ugly sweat. I hate to say, I dislike greatly saying ugly sweaters. Seasonal kinds of sweaters.
Right.
Brown winter. That kind of event. That could be fun.
I
Uh,
did a project management and I redid my front porch. I did the
Okay.
budget. I had a team. I hired the people. You can make a project just about out of anything. You can
Listen,
make a
I'm that,
project out of organizing your wardrobe, your closet, your shoes. Redecorating a room is a project. You got to have materials, you have to have a timeline, you have to have a space to work. Therefore, you can make a project out of just about anything. I just rearrange my office. I can consider that a project because of the things I did. I had the place, I had to move the furniture. I may have to buy more stuff to get into the furniture. I bought a new chair. I rearranged my computer. It's just everything can be considered a project. It's just how in depth you want that project to be is up to the individual.
I appreciate that because I'm in a project right now putting together a desk. I didn't get that creative.
No, that it you can use that. You
Yeah,
ordered it, you got it, you got to put it together. How long
yes.
it took you put it together, how much it costs, your recommendation to somebody else. You can end up being a content creator. The world is your oyster. Use it.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I'm just going to make this other little statement. I'm that
Okay.
VPE that the rest of just mentioned. To me, that's a project in itself, learning that VPE role.
Let me tell you something. I was on my way 3 times. So if I don't know no other role, I can teach you how to be a VPE. And the things that I'm telling you, guess what? Those are things that I told my club as a VPE. I said, oh, when you gonna do your next speech? You won't talk about what you want to talk about on your next speech. I can listen, but if I listen, I can't be your evaluator.
Mhm,
and
mhm.
and different things like that. Okay, you gave me 5 ideas. Let's focus on one. Then guess what? Your next speech, we're going to focus on the second one, and we're going to continue on and on. It's more so encouraging or pushing each other to
Right.
go to that next level. It may be one word I said that make you think about it. Oh, I know what my next speech is going to be. One word.
I can testify that Jessica is speaking on what she knows and what she has told our club many times. As a fellow Fedmasters member, I have heard this from her, and I'm on here today to hear it again because I am on my third path. I'm on presentation mastery like you, Denise. I think I'm starting level 3. I've done 2 HPL, high performance leadership projects in the past. One was for a division or area contest. I kind of helped organize the contest. And the most recent one was to help with our club's mentoring program. So just to give you some other ideas out there.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate it because the creativity had kind of went to a standstill there.
And that's why we have these meetings for you to ask questions, listen to what your fellow Toastmaster members have, and everything. This is going to be a project because a solicitor is at my door. And I know he's seeing me because I'm right beside the window, but I can't fool with him right now. I'm in a meeting. That's right. Would anyone else like to share? We have a few more minutes. I'm going to ask you another question, and I'm going to ask you if there's anything else that you would like to ask in the meeting. Because my first question was, where are you now? My next question is, where do you want to be? Where do you want to go? What I did as VPE, I ask each member to make a one-level commitment. Well, I really asked for two, but I got one, so I was cool with one. Make a one-level commitment. When Freddie talked about that DCP, each year you need to complete 4 level ones. That means it's going to be a new member coming in, or it's going to be a new member starting another path. But guess what? You need 4 level ones completed. That is the largest level of completions on any of the path on your DCP. So I'm asking you, what can you do to help your club out this Toastmaster year? We're starting early, we're starting fresh, we're coming out the gate not as a snail, but as a slow pace. But we don't want to wait to June to decide what we're going to do. We want to be able to know what we're going to do. What are we committing to our club? What are we committing to ourselves? Whether it's a commitment to ourselves, to our club, goals being met, personal goals in your life. What are you willing to do? Because everything that we do in Toastmasters is a learning experience. And with learning experiences, we grow. So, who's growing with me? Who's going to grow with me? Anybody else have any questions? Anything you like to say? A comment? It may be something that I said that sparked something in you that you want to share with another member. We're here to help each other. I can't grow unless you help me to grow. This position is not my position. Guess what? It's our position. It's our growth. It's our club. It's our district. It's our division. Okay? Let me hear from you. Dan. Dan is one of our newer members. Dan, can
Hello,
hi.
how are you?
I'm doing good. Would you like to share with this group as being new to Toastmasters and your experience thus far?
I joined Toastmasters in July. I gave my icebreaker speech a couple weeks ago. It went very well. And then I actually re-gave my icebreaker speech to 7 of my colleagues a week later because one of them, Jill, who was in Toastmasters, said, I missed your icebreaker speech. And so I said, oh, well, as long as I'm going to do it, I'll invite more people. So I gave the speech in a more general comfortable setting. It wasn't an official Toastmaster speech, but then we had a nice conversation afterwards about my travels, and it was very cool to let everybody see another side of me.
Dan has traveled the world. How many countries, Dan?
More than 40.
See,
We're going to Romania in October to have dinner with Dracula's castle for Halloween.
wow.
Can I interrupt Dan for a second? This is amazing in terms of seeing the similarities of human beings. Dan, I have lived and worked in over 45 different countries, and I've always wanted to hear from another person similar to myself. This is amazing. And this is why I appreciate Toastmasters. You have an opportunity to hear from a diverse group of individuals in different sectors, in different parts of the country. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Dan. I would love to hear your icebreaker. This is amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
My pleasure.
Okay. And that gave me another thought. I mean, even if you wanted to practice with a group or brainstorm with a group, we can set aside time to do that as well. Anything that you need, we can do. So, what we decided to do was the first meeting we had was last month. It was on July the 9th. And that was kind of like a demo into pathways. So this month, what we decided to do was to talk about level 1. Okay. And next month, we're going to have a new speaker, but that person will talk on level 2. If you all know, as you get into level 3, you'll have required speeches and electives. Okay. Those electives, that elective that Denise was talking about, when you get in level 3, there will be electives. So it'll be required speeches and a required number of elective speeches that you have to complete. Please don't be scared of these speeches. Just be yourself. We always talk about when we have a speech, it's like having a conversation with someone. Don't think about it more so as a speech, but as a conversation. You have to know the audience and know how to conversate to the audience. But whatever you need, we are willing to assist you with. We have about 9 more minutes. Does anyone else have any questions? Our next meeting will be September the 24th. I was going to do a poll, but I decided not to do a poll. My question to you all is 1 o'clock a good time? Or should we have some evening meetings, after work meetings? Get off of mute and kind of share with me, what do you think about the times of the meeting? Because they can be flexible. I haven't scheduled the time for the next meeting, but it will be on September the 24th. So what we're trying to do is do maybe the 4th Tuesday on every month, but the time can be flexible. Does anybody think about, okay, Pamela?
Yeah, I think for the majority of my club members, evening would be better. And I also had one other question prior to that. When are the paths changing, like the past certain ones being retired and just the 6 going forward?
Freddie?
Sometime this year,
Okay.
toward, I know, I think they gave
Around
us an October. Yeah,
In October,
yeah.
that's what they told us at the convention. They plan to roll it out.
Yeah, so it may be November, but no, just kidding. But it is on the way.
Remember,
Since-
if you've already started in that path, it won't be taken away. It'll be like grandfathered in, but you will not be able to start that path. Denise, you got a question?
Since the meeting has been recorded, will it be accessible after today to those that may not have been able to attend?
Need to work on it because the first meeting was also recorded. I promise I will get an answer, but it will be, we have to determine where it will be accessible. More likely, it will be accessible on your District 66 website. Please, please don't forget to go to the District 66 website, okay? It's a lot of valuable information. And what they have done is they have placed on the calendar each of the Journey to Pathways meetings. And we ask that you register for the meetings. And it will be the same link that you will use the meetings, but we ask that you register each month for the meeting. Okay, we said we're going to talk about level 2 on our next meeting. Is there anything else that you may have questions about, or anything that you would like for us to go over on these Journey to Pathways? And probably after October, we'll have to stop and probably go over the new functionalities and pathways. That's going to be something else we need to do, so all of the members will be aware of the new changes.
I do have one more follow-up question, since you said,
Okay,
so we're next month going to be opening up for new members. Should we encourage them to stick to the 6 pass? Is there anything else that's gonna change where we shouldn't let, or should we encourage them not to pick the paths that are not gonna be going forward, or is there any reason for that?
No, no, don't discourage anything. Don't say, don't pick that one, pick this. No.
Let 'em
If
pick
it's
it.
before they are dissolved, it is yours.
Okay.
Okay, you can take whatever time you need to finish all 5 of those levels. Okay, so don't discourage anything. If you really like that path and you wanted to do it, what I didn't see is engaging humor. I always wanted to do that one, but it is returning. Yes, it is.
Oh, it's
So, I mean,
returning.
it's not returning, it's staying.
It's staying. Okay.
So, no, let your new members or your more seasoned members pick whatever they want to pick. They'll be able to finish it.
And keep in mind, when you choose a path, you can do the assessment or you can read through the path description and select from there. So you have 2 choices when you do a path. Keep in mind, when you are a member, the first path is included in your membership, but each additional path is $20.
I was gonna just jump in and say, I'm a fan of doing these meetings at night, but I understand other people might prefer them at other times, like during the day. I tried to access it on the Zoom meeting on my work computer, but it was blocked because it required me to enter some things that I couldn't do. So, just wanted to suggest that maybe we try it at night next month for September. But I'll try to make it if I can.
Okay. We can do that next month. Okay. What time? 6, 7, 8? What's a good time?
I'm thinking the like 6:30 timeframe is usually the best for evening meetings.
Anyone else? Brianna said 6:30.
I'm going with 7.
6 or 7, right?
I'm going with
7,
7.
okay.
6:30 is a bit early based on my work schedule and making sure I can make it from home at 7 o'clock. Once the decision is made, will you publish it on the District 66 site? How will we know? By the way, thank you for educating me that this is a series and not a one-off. I was not aware of that.
No, we have these
Okay.
trainings.
Every month.
We call them
Okay.
trainings every month.
Okay, got it.
This is something new. So this is only our second
Oh.
meeting. I appreciate all the participation. But a lot of things grow by word of mouth. Get your members, get everyone excited about joining these meetings. You can join for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 30 minutes. Someone said they had to go. That's perfectly fine. Come in, ask your question. If you have to leave, that's fine. No one said you had to stay the whole entire hour.
Mm.
It is preferable, but not always necessary. Okay, it is 1:59. I think we're going to have the next meeting on September the 24th, and that meeting will be at 7 p.m. You need to be there to see if that meeting will include prizes. Okay. Our first meeting did include prizes. No, I'm not going to tell you that there will be prizes next month. No, I'm not. You got to be there to find out. All right. Does anybody else have anything else? Hey,
Last question. How soon will registration be available on the website, on the District 66 website?
let me look at it. I think they haven't posted all of them because I haven't scheduled them, but they should be available soon. I will work on it and look out there as soon as I schedule the next meeting. Because I
Okay.
have to schedule the link for the meeting on September the 24th at 7 p.m. time. There was also a mail jet that was sent out. Did everyone see the mail jet? About the meeting today? No one see?
But I don't know what a
But
minute.
Yeah, you're
It
gonna have to
was
Oh,
go ahead.
it's an
forwarded.
What's the
email. I'm
Thank you for that.
sorry.
What is that?
It's an email announcing stuff, like when we
Yeah.
have different things like the 100-year celebration. It's an email stating that we're gonna have Turning to Pathways on a certain day at a certain time. So look at your emails. You will get friendly reminders of these meetings in your emails as well.
Is this coming from the
Yeah, I
same
know this one came
sender?
from our president, so
Yeah,
I'm not
They
that's,
sure.
only,
It
that's
was-
exactly
they
right. This
only
one came
sent
from our
them to
VP.
people that are not enrolled. We'll have to fix that next time. So
Thank you.
it sounds like everybody on here is enrolled, so they wouldn't have gotten it.
Thank you.
Okay, I did not know that. Thank you, Dorita. Okay, it is 2:01. If there's,
To let y'all know, I did get a confirmation.
you did get a confirmation from your registration though, right?
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, Freddie, you have anything else before we end the meeting?
If you have any problems navigating specifically through the path, let Miss Jessica know. And that could also be a segment where we think, pair, share to make sure that you are clicking every box.
Right.
All right.
We may
I've got
get
another
someone to
meeting.
share their screen and navigate to make sure they're getting to the right spot. Okay, thank you all. This was great.
Yeah.
Good questions.
Thank you.
Thank you. You all have a great day. Bye.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.